Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
I don't think there's a player on this entire list, 91 players, that nobody just has a clue on. He's not even a rookie this year, and that's Kalia Davis, defensive tackle who got literally a redshirt year last year because he got hurt during the NFL prep combine performance, tore his ACL. So the Niners drafted him in the 6th round last year. We'll get into a little bit more of that. A lot of people had a 3rd to 4th round grade on him as an interior defensive lineman. So he sat all year last year. Comes out, they activate the 21-day practice rep window heading into the playoffs last year. Gets out there, goes through some practices, and they decided we're going to shut him down, which was all pre-planned. They never were going to activate a player for the playoff run when most of the defensive tackles came back. It just didn't make sense. Now, comes out this year at training camp, got a hamstring issue, really hasn't even had that many days, I think 2 days, full pads. Just haven't seen much of him. And in those 2 days, he was in the back of the rotation. So he missed a lot of training camp this year, which he really, really needed. So we've got Kalia Davis coming in at number 43. Last year we had him 66 because we knew he wasn't playing last year, but we knew they were going to hold on to him, put him on the NFI list, kept him all year. I don't know what the hell they're going to do this year because there's no way he's shown enough to make this roster yet. He's got to do something in the next few weeks. Now, do have to give credit to Josh, the 49ers guru. Heck of a job digging up all the research on this kid. So let's figure out who Kalia Davis is. Wears jersey number 93, which you got to love. We've had stud 93 linemen in the recent future. And so comes in 6'2", 310. Short, stout. The Niners have 2 separate types of defensive tackles they like. They like the giant, big-bodied guys, whether it's Kinlaw, Armstead, Ridgeway, that type of mold. And then there's the small, undersized, quick shooter-type guy. That's Kalia Davis, Javon Hargrave, Kevin Givens, Maurice Hurst. You can go on and on. Like, they have types. They want either type A or type B, and they serve different roles. So if we look at Kalia Davis, we don't have a lot of measurables. 33 and 5/8-inch arms. He's 24 years old because he tore his ACL. So he didn't do a 40, 10, 3-cone vert, broad jump, any of that stuff. But 30 bench press reps, this dude's got some strength. There's no doubt about it. Now, he went to high school, West Florida Tech, the Jaguars. Went to college at Central Florida, graduated with a criminal justice degree, which is awesome. And you kind of look at what he did at his time at UCF. It was hilarious because he was recruited as a linebacker, a stand-up linebacker, and he played his first 2 years at UCF as a linebacker. And you could see him, and he'd tuck his shirt, his jersey underneath his shoulder pads, and he'd have a little bit of John Chapman belly hanging out, given the athleticism that he brings and I bring are totally 2 different caliber things. But it's just funny. You see this guy that's close to 3 bills playing stand-up linebacker. Is very rare. Finally transitions to defensive line the last 3 years and put up some great numbers. Earned AAC all academic team honors. Absolute freak athlete, explosive. And you get why they put him at linebacker because you've got this elite size, speed, burst, passion. They were playing him out of position for too long. So it's very easy to get excited about him because if he can just come in and be a situational interior pass rusher, the Niners won. You got this dude in the 6th round last year. You picked 42 in the 6th round. Late comp pick. Again, the way the Niners see these are free dart throws, free roll of the dice. So they didn't have a hard time just sitting him last year. But we'll see. I had very high expectations of him heading into camp. I don't know what this is going to look like this year for him. I'm just going to be really, really honest. I'm not sure he's going to make the 53-man roster because he has not been able to prove, one, that he can stay healthy, 2, what he can do on the field. We really don't know. He did not get very many team reps in full pads yet. Maybe the preseason will be his time to shine, but he's got to come back. That hamstring injury just could not have come for a worse time, kind of where he's at. Now, he's a fun player, 25, games started, at the interior position. And if you look at his last games in 2021, drafted in 2022, right? But that was like one of those weird COVID years. He only got 5 games in. So 235 snaps. And this is kind of the way of things go because it's just all weird. He had an 82.3 overall grade, 85.1 run grade, 39.8 tackling. That's the red flag that you're like, okay, this has to fix if you want to play. 65.9 pass rush, 64 coverage. And so you look at him and you're like, man, this is a pass rusher on the inside. But the numbers don't scream that. The film says he could be, but he's much more of that penetrating 3-technique disruptor than he is like an elite pass rusher, DeForest Buckner type guy. That's not really what he is. He is a disruption type player that doesn't really get a lot of tackles. The missed tackles are huge, but just messes stuff up. He's just a wrecker, if that makes sense. So my initial projections were this dude was going to be a lock this year as kind of that number 5 to number 6 defensive tackle, because the Niners have taken 2 roads to their defensive line active roster. They either have 6 defensive ends and 5 interior guys, or 6 interior guys and 5 defensive ends. And that is paramount for Kalia Davis to get an opportunity to make this 53-man roster. They got to keep 6. If they don't keep 6, then I'm not quite sure that the Niners will be hanging on to Kalia Davis. They'll try to bring him back to the practice squad. They like him, but we just haven't seen it. And I'm really, really hoping that opportunity is going to come soon because you saw the potential. You saw it. This dude would have been a 3rd to 4th round pick. It's just that ACL, and now you got the hamstring, which is nowhere near the ACL, but this was his tryout time to prove he belonged. We just haven't seen it yet. So hoping he gets healthy soon. Hoping he gets out there soon. Excited to see what he could do. Let's go Kalia Davis because, man, if he can bring what we see, whew, yeah, that's exciting stuff. So we'll see. All right, Kalia Davis, get healthy, get out there, dominate. And for us, we'll just keep counting them down.